shot? One shot.
West on horse, got him.
So second by.
Shit! Fuck! Fuck! Yeah, fuck!
We're gonna be going north.
Sir!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And we're starting off with one from the Cron. And this is just about that video you saw about the officer. So newly released Bodycam footage shows the high-speed moments before a Houston cop drove his police cruiser onto a sidewalk December 4th and killed 62-year-old Michael Wayne Jackson, who was walking to his barber. Prosecutors have yet to present the case to a grand jury. Harris County District Attorney's Office spokesperson Dan Schiller said Monday on December 30th, the Houston Police Department released 2 video clips from bodycams worn by driving officer Orlando Hernandez and his partner officer Anthony Aranda. Both officers are 25 years old, with fewer than 5 years on the force, and are currently is listed as active duty according to the HPD spokesperson. Oh god, and this is where I have the problem with it. Why is it still an active duty? This is absolutely insane. The entire thing's insane. That poor guy, that absolute poor guy. Let's go through this to explain it a little bit better, shall we? Hernandez at times drove the 6,300-pound Ford Police Interceptor between 80 and 100 miles an hour down Reed Road, according to the cruise speedometer shown in a 5-minute clip from his bodycam. Traffic on Reed Road is limited to 40 miles per hour, so he was already doing over double the speed limit. The cops were driving with lights aside was activated to help other officers apprehend 5 individuals allegedly involved in the carjacking, who reportedly fled on foot after a short pursuit. Reed Road was wet, so the conditions were wet from a recent rain shower that Saturday afternoon, according to a crash report filed by HPD. Video shows the cruiser's windshield wipers were activated as Hernandez maneuvered the police SUV through traffic, appearing on multiple occasions to be using only one hand to steer the speeding vehicle over slick residential roads. As Hernandez approached a red light at Cullen Boulevard, he slowed down to check for cross traffic before continuing west towards Scott Street. So Jackson was walking west on the sidewalk in the 4,000 Reed Road, blah blah blah. Several cars were stopped at a red light at the Reed Road and Scott Street intersection, police said. As Hernandez sped towards the intersection, video shows the officer turned the steering wheel nearly 180 to avoid colliding with other cars. Hernandez cruiser slid slightly right, jumping the sidewalk and hitting Jackson before slamming into a dumpster bin in a nearby parking lot, which is what you obviously witnessed. So he was traveling at least, according to people's estimates, at around 75 miles per hour. And apparently, in a frame before Hernandez attempted to turn the wheel, the cruiser speedometer showed 60. So about 60, 75 miles an hour he was going when he hit him. And it's disturbing, right? It's disturbing. So this is the police bit. This is the really interesting bit about it. Houston police have not released any other findings from the investigation, including any telemetry data from the cruiser's computer regarding cruiser's actual speed and if when Hernandez applied the brakes. However, crash investigators with HPD's Vehicular Crimes Division noted in a crash report that Hernandez was traveling at an unsafe speed and performed a faulty evasive action. And he's still on active duty. What? But it's a horrific one, and I don't know what the grand jury will decide, right? But he shouldn't be on active duty until he's cleared of this. Someone died. Someone died, right? I think that's like the thing we have to remember here. Somebody actually died because of this, and there has to be consequences for that, right? You can't just go on about it like nothing happened. It's just, there needs to be some accountability, and there needs to be less tolerance for situations like this. I'm not talking about necessarily jail time, but that is a consideration. but there should be consequences. You should be going back to active duty. I don't. I just don't get the system when it's just twisted in this way. We're gonna move on to another story though. If there's an update to this in the future when we get the grand jury thing, I'll cover it again. But let's move on to another story. This comes from I can't remember what the website's called. KETK Fox 51. Texas father gunned down in Chuck E. Cheese parking lot whilst bringing in daughter's birthday cake. This one's a really disturbing one as well. Also in Texas, but this is in Humble, Texas. A man was shot to death in the parking lot of a Humble Chuck E. Cheese Friday night, according to our NBC affiliate KPRC. So, Calagera Duenes was walking outside of the business when he reportedly got into an argument with another man who was driving a Ford. Officers who were stationed nearby said they then heard gunshots. When they ran over to the scene, they found Duenes on the ground with multiple bullet wounds. The shooter had fled the scene before they arrived. Amber Aresti, Duenes' wife, says her husband was shot while he was bringing in their 6-year-old daughter's birthday cake. So they were at Chuck E. Cheese for her birthday, and he went out to get the cake. Apparently got into some sort of argument with someone who pulled out a gun and killed him right there and then. Oh, that's just disturbing. Aresti said that she and Duenes were childhood sweethearts and they had been together since they were teenagers. He leaves behind 2 daughters and a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And yeah, he's going to be buried in his hometown of Corpus Christi. It's just senseless, absolutely senseless why anyone would do that. And I hope the police find this guy for a start, because holy crap, like, that's mental. And people keep saying guns aren't a problem. Really? Guns aren't a problem when people are getting gunned down outside Chuck E. Cheese's? What? Absurd. Let's move on to another story. This is from WTOP News. This is about an Uber rider who got stuck on the Interstate 95. This one is kind of disturbing, to be honest. Well, it's not disturbing. It's just scummy. It's really scummy, and I wonder how many people this has happened to, actually. But thousands of people had a terrible experience being trapped on icy roads on Interstate 95 in Virginia this week. But how many of them had insult added to injury? So, Andrew Peters from Richmond, Virginia, not only got stranded on the highway, but was also hit with a massive Uber bill. So this is him saying stuff. I was coming in from San Francisco. I didn't really realize what was going on here. Peters told WTOP, explaining that he hopped in an Uber bound for Richmond after landing at Jules International Airport. His Uber driver apparently did not realize the severity of the situation either, because the driver went onto the highway and got stuck in traffic. It was kind of scary, as Pete says. We didn't have any food or water. He's made it home after 9 hours and paid a $20 Uber bill. So he went home after 9 hours, paid $200 Uber bill. So that's 9 hours at $20. So that's about $21 an hour or something, right? So $21 an hour, that's pretty good wage, right? However, Peter says Uber then tacked on $400 in additional charges, raising his bill to $600 in total. I'm still trying to find someone to talk to understand why they feel they could charge me this, said Peters. And here's the thing. What happened on the interstate isn't his fault. So why is he being punished for it? It's not his fault. It's the driver's fault for going on the interstate when there's trouble. The driver should know, if you're a professional Uber driver, not to go on an interstate when there's problems, right? And then get stuck in heavy traffic. Meh? That's just me. That's just me, in my opinion. An Uber driver should know this. And he compensated him fairly. It wasn't like the guy was like, well, here's $50 for where? He was like, $200. That's fair. That is fair. Like, it's nobody... You can't charge people more because there was traffic, right? But according to Uber's website, heavy traffic may cause your trip to take longer than expected, and to compensate your driver for the additional time, your fare may change. Yeah, $200 is compensation. 600 is a bloody joke. Peters is disputing the additional charge. I'll probably be banned from Uber, but, you know, whatever Peter says. I mean, with business practices like that, I don't, like, disagree with his attitude of being like, whatever. I'd say whatever, too, if you just tacked on $400 to my bill because it wasn't my fault that we got stuck in traffic. I just want to say, this policy of if you get stuck in traffic, we're going to charge you more to compensate the driver. How does that work? Think of it this way. If you're a driver and you know this is policy, why are you going to take the fast route when you can get deliberately stuck in traffic and make sure that whoever's in the car gets a bunch of additional charges on top? But the internet reopened, blah, blah, blah. That was fine. You know, it's disgusting business practices for corporate people. Let's move on to the final story of the day. And this one comes from CBS News. This is another one. Classes again cancelled for Chicago public schools on Thursday. Yeah, this is gonna be a one, right, guys? Chicago public school classes are being cancelled again on Thursday amid an escalating fight over the Chicago Teachers Union's vote to return to remote learning. The initial vote came Thursday amid the surge of COVID-19 cases. Chicago Public Schools Chief Executive Officer Pedro Martinez said Wednesday evening that he had no choice but to cancel classes on Thursday. And as I say this now, the CEO is a douche. And this is an example of another corporate. It's an example of another corporation. It's an example of what we just seen with Uber, but this time it's with teachers. And it's just a disregard completely for anyone's safety, to be honest, with this one. So in a letter sent to CPS families, Chicago Public Schools families Wednesday, what is called CTU's vote to return to more remote learning, an illegal work stoppage. Yes. Now, their vote the vote was a legal work stoppage. At a press conference, Martinez also called their move an illegal strike. Yep, it's illegal to strike now. And said that under state law, we are not authorized to go remote as a district. Really? Because weren't you remote before? Haven't we just spent, like, you know, months and months in lockdowns and stuff where we had remote learning? So you say you were happy to violate state law then, but you're not happy to do so now? What? I'm a little bit confused here, buddy. How can it be a violation of state law if you did it before? Are you admitting that you willfully broke state law? So anyway, I know I'm being pedantic with it, but it's so stupid. So Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said at the Wednesday press conference that teachers who do not show up in person for in-person instruction on Friday will not be paid. We will not pay you for an unlawful unilateral strike, the mayor said, according to CBS Chicago. So yeah, they're gonna stop paying teachers, which, I mean, they don't get paid enough as it is, but okay, they're gonna stop paying teachers. So early Wednesday, after being locked out of their remote teaching tools, hundreds of teachers formed a caravan honking their horns, spraying signs that read, "Don't lock us out, let us teach." So yeah, in retaliation of this, right? So the teachers says, okay, we're concerned for our safety. We would rather do remote learning. They held a vote and they decided 73% of them, we want to go back to remote learning because we feel it's safer for our health and with what's going on with, you know, variants and stuff. They made that decision. This is our health choice that we want to, you know, be as safe as possible. And in retaliation of that, not only is the mayor, you know, obviously blocking them from stopping them getting paid, but the actual learning tools that they were using, the CAO has locked them out of, so they can't use them, so they can't teach the kids. So the CAO is punishing the kids and the teachers by refusing to let them be taught. So the Chicago Teachers Union President Jesse Sharkey said, right now, going into schools puts us at risk. So, and she's right. Right now, schools pose risk. Things need to be done better, more. Schools all around the world need fixing to get them in a position where kids can be taught safely. And that comes down to just changing stuff within the schools. That's going to take time. It's going to take a while to do. and it will get done eventually and stuff. But right now, I can understand why teachers want to do remote learning when they don't have things in place that they need in order for the environment to be as safe as possible. But Martinez is saying that the school buildings will be open, teachers, staff are welcome to come to classes, but classes will be called off. So if they do take a vote to do a walkout tomorrow, I have to cancel classes. Martinez said earlier Tuesday, I am not closing schools. The school's going to be open. So again, all staff will be welcome to come to school because we are going to have a plan for our families. I am not going to let our parents down. So the Chicago Public Schools officials asserted that the CTU vote to authorize teachers to work remotely began Wednesday would amount to an illegal strike. Again, to keep doing this rhetoric, I just want to say something, right? This isn't like a normal school. I want to explain this. For everyone not in America, right, your schools, well, for most of the world, are run by the government, right? With curriculum and mandates. So, yeah, sure, there's some private ones, but mainly they're public schools, right? That anyone can attend and go to, right? This isn't the case with this. This entire school system is run by the CEO, right? It's run by the CEO. So it told its teachers in memo that January 18th will be the next day of in-person instruction, but CBS hasn't yet addressed the plan beyond cancelling classes Wednesday. So when a reporter asked late Tuesday whether CBS would go ahead and switch to remote learning, if a CTU action had teachers not showing up to school for multiple days, Lightfoot said, the CTU doesn't make decisions about how our Chicago public school system works. The CEO does, and he's the boss. So that's what it is, guys. CEO, he's the boss, he makes the decisions. Screw the kids, F the teachers, doesn't matter, scrap the education. CEO doesn't care. The mayor doesn't care. They couldn't give two damns if kids get educations or not, and if they're safe or not. For them, it's just keeping this business going, right? That's all it is, keeping the business going. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below about all the topics of today. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace out, guys.